Hi and welcome to our program. Today we are visiting the exhibition Ready for the Next Pandemic with Welfare-Technology here at DocX. Follow me to know more.
This is this box. It's actually for medicine. So a lot of people can some people can take or have to take medicine maybe 6 times each day. And often you would get them in these kind of big rolls you can do nowadays, and then all of your medicine is packed for 2 weeks ahead. And that you can actually put into this machine, and then you don't really have to think about what medicine should you take at what different time points. It tells you, and it helps you take the medicine. So now it is just in a demo mode. So if it was not, it would just have said, Mikkel, remember and take your medicine. And the medicine comes out here. And I take it here. And then it'll also cut the bag open. So I just take it here, have a glass of water, and then I can take my pills. These are just candy. But you can also send messages. For example, remember to also drink plenty of water. Or here, Anna has asked if I'm ready to train at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's really just a robot, you could actually say, that just hands you and helps you remember your medicine. And then it would do an alarm beforehand, and you can set all of these things. So for example, it would start ringing an hour before, telling me, okay, Mikkel, now you have to take your medicine in half an hour. And if I haven't taken it within that time, it kind of swallows the medicine again.
Okay.
And it locks it away, because if you take too much medicine sometimes at one time point, it can be very unhealthy for you, and you can become very ill. So it also ensures that I don't take too much medicine, and it assures that I take the medicine at the right time points. Yeah, so also quite a. It's very high tech, but it does something that is very basic, but also that is very important for people who takes a lot of medicine.
Yeah, keep track.
Yeah, we can maybe take this. This is a video link. What it does and who's it for. It can be a bit similar to what we saw before. It's also for like getting in contact with. It can be your relatives, your sons, your daughters, your kids. And what it does is that it's connected to your TV screen. So your normal TV screen, and then you have just added a webcam, and then this small computer, and then it is connected to the. Let me see if I can do the call.
So this you can just add to any television.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And then it's just in this demo mode. So if I have to call this TV, for example, let me see if my QR scanner works. I can call the TV here, and it would, there would be two-way communication between the TV and me. Now I of course have to mute it, and then I'm joining kind of like a meeting. Yeah.
Hi, Lukman.
Hello.
And you can only mute and stop in your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can disconnect the call from my phone, and then it would go back to being a TV. Like now it goes back to the TV. So it's again for people maybe who are elderly and don't don't know how to work Zoom and connecting a computer to the TV and all that. So it helps them in that way.
Nice. What is this one with the cups?
Yeah, the cups. So this is actually for it's a powered straw, you could say. So you and I, we sometimes use a straw for drinking, but if you have difficulties drinking, this actually is a motorized straw, so it can kind of drink for you. So let me see if I can get it on. Okay.
That is weird.
It can sound a bit weird. Of course, I haven't filled up the glass, so the glass here is empty, so I can't really show it. And of course, I wouldn't drink out of this right now. But it could be that you have very limited function. So you can connect a button like this somewhere. It maybe for some people, they might only be able to use their hands, like doing something like this. They cannot move their heads. Maybe they also will have like they can swallow, but they wouldn't be able to use a straw because then we need some of our muscles in our mouth to create a pressure and get the liquid into the mouth. But then you can use any sort of switch device. There could also be. You could also plug it into something where you have to blink, or you have to do something with your foot or your head, and then you will be able to drink on your own. Of course, you still have to have somebody pouring up the drink as well. So it's very much more about the freedom in being able to drink yourself. We have also previously had machines that can help you eat, so you also have to push some kind of button, and then the machine would eat for you if you are not able to move the food up to your mouth. So it's much more about creating that freedom for the individual, like being able to decide when you need the next part of your sip of your drink or the next bite of your food. And that is very important, even though you still have to have someone helping you create the food and preparing the drink and so on. It's just that the
small steps.
Yeah, the small steps, but it's very important for the individual. Yeah, so that's what this is for. You can also take an injury map here. It's an app that can help you if you have pains in your joints or in your muscles. It kind of, if you say, for example, I actually right now have a bit of injury in my shoulder, and it kind of hurts when I'm playing badminton. So I would actually be able, much like I would do to a physiotherapist, go down and say, yeah, my shoulder is bad, I need help with some kind of program, massage that can work. Of course, the physiotherapist, he knows a lot more, but a lot of the knowledge and training programs that the physiotherapists have are put in here. So, for example, something that is very common could be some shoulder injury, and there would be a specific set of movements that would be great to train. It could also be a knee or your ankle or your back. And then if you put all of this, much like a recipe, into the application, the app on your phone, and then it gives back a specific training program you can try out and see if that helps you with the pain and the soreness of what you have. And of course, if it doesn't, then you should definitely visit a physiotherapist.
But it's a nice alternative if you cannot really go. Like imagine if there's a lockdown or something like this right now.
Exactly, and maybe often you just have to do these exercises and it blows over and you're fit again and then you didn't have to go to the physiotherapist. So it could be a way to start out and see if you can actually train your way out of this specific injury. And for a lot of people who don't really know, like, okay, if I have injured my knee, what should I do? Which movements help train my knee? Then it tells you and it shows you based on what you say and how much pain you are feeling and so on.
And what about that one?
This one? Yeah. Maybe you can try. I think my hips are a bit too large.
Okay.
So basically, it's made for kids. You know, much like I know when I was little, we have moon cars. Like we drove around in the schoolyard and bumped into each other.
Okay.
This is the same thing, but it's created much like a wheelchair.
Okay.
And
So is it for a game?
it's for riding around in the schoolyard, and of course, if we had two, we would be able to bump into each other. There's that big ring in front, and it's very similar to the stools that they use in wheelchair rugby, which is like a very fun sport for everybody basically. Also, like a wheelchair is driving a wheelchair can be interesting for everybody to actually try. Be sitting in a wheelchair and how it feels. That it's quite.
It's very hard on the
It's
arms.
very hard on the arms, and people who drive a wheelchair each day have much better muscles in the upper body than we usually have. So for kids, for example, it can be very learning to actually be able to sit in a wheelchair and see that it's not because that you are different in any ways. It's just because you cannot really move your legs, so you need this device.
This is fun.
Yeah, it's quite fun, and it's also a very good movement. Because if you try, you can do the wheel around, and you can actually also like tip it. You can do a lot of. You can actually do a lot of things in a wheelchair when you get the hang of it. So it's also very fun, but it's also something that gives you a great perspective in what people with a wheelchair are experiencing every day. We can take the chair maybe in the same go. So if you sit down in the chair here.
This is also a gadget.
Yeah. It's also part of the exhibition.
I thought it was just for people to chill.
It is also a very good device to chill on. If you just lean back, then you can get these over you. Now they are not that heavy.
What is
you
this
can put
inside?
more. It's actually like some balls that is creating this experience.
Okay.
It's from a Danish company called Protak. You can also get your legs up here.
Ooh, nice.
And they have created kind of these balls. So if when you feel them on your body, it's a very nice experience, and it also creates like something heavy on you, and we all have a lot of senses, especially here on our stomach and our breast as well. So much like when we pull our blanket over ourselves at night, it feels very comfortable. If you increase the weight often of this blanket, you will sometimes, for a lot of people, will feel even more comfortable. And this is especially used for people who have difficulties really resting and really falling down. So in a lot of institutions, there could be people in the autism spectrum. They would have some of these where people can kind of sit down and really get relaxed, calm down. But yeah, usually everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, it's really nice. I could take a nap.
And then you can increase the weights here. For example, if you need something, you need a lot of weight. That's very different how people feel about that. Yeah.
This is nice. I would like one of these.
Yeah, definitely. We enjoy them as well here down here.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take this. It's also very relevant in terms of also the pandemic. So this is called COVID care at home. So what it does is that it's a kit, basically, that comes in this box. And then you will be able to measure a lot of things on your health. That can be this one, which kind of measures their. It's called an oximeter. So it measures the what's called the oxygen saturation within your blood, like how well your lungs are able to transfer oxygen. You can also measure the body temperature. A lot of people have tried that, and it can also be the respiratory rate. And I think there's, when you use one of these, you kind of put on your chest, and then you use these small devices which collects the data, and when you put them here, it kind of receives all of the data. Oh, sorry, this one here, and then let me see, it goes here.
Okay.
And then that you then have during like a part of the day. So it monitors a lot of different aspects of your health, and these are then specifically a lot of the measurements that are related to people who have had COVID, for example, and then can continuously measure their health. Are they becoming better after having COVID, or are their health, for example, declining? And should a doctor do an intervention? But then they can measure all of this at home almost as good as the doctor would be able to measure these. And then all of this data is sent to the doctors or the health personnel, and they will be able to assess whether they should intervene or not. So it's called telehealth. It's kind of the broad term for this kind of technology, and this is then specifically targeted at people who suffering from COVID, or the what it's called, like what comes after you have had the after effects of having COVID. And kind of measuring them and seeing, if you're getting better or not.
What about this one with the cans?
Yeah.
Very curious.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people ask about this because it can be difficult to see at first. It's called EasyUp, and like we before talked about people with arthritis, we talked about people with like brain damage and paralysis. This is also for them. So, for example, let's say I just have one arm. I'll choose my right arm, right hand. I'm best with that. So now someone had actually stolen my. Usually I have a Coca-Cola here because this one is for opening bottles with a screw lid. Could also be this one. This is tomato pasta. Then now I won't open it, but I'll just try to show. So this one creates a vacuum under here. So this one is very tight. You have to use a lot of force to really pull it up, and that would allow me to open it here without using my other hand. Otherwise, it would be very it could be difficult, and I would have to it moves, and I have to be able to hold with these two fingers a lot more than I otherwise would. And if I had two hands, I could hold it very firm with one hand and then open it with the other. And yeah, these are often very difficult as well. And it's the same thing with these as well. Yeah, basically it can open almost anything. And then they also come with this. It's for example, taking a folio off. For example, a lot of things you put in the microwave or food that has been prepared, you would need to take off the folio, and then this one you put down on the folio, and it kind of grabs the folio, and you take it off, not using like your fingertips to
so even
power.
with two hands, it's hard to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And what is that?
This is then for example, holding a folio pack, I think, when you have to take it out.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's basically made to open almost anything. Like if you have these four things, you can open almost anything with one hand that you can find in the grocery store. So it's again of empowering people who have lesser mobility than or lesser function than normally.
Okay. Are these Legos here for?
Yeah, they're also there for a reason. So if you have some used Lego, or if you just have put all of your Lego sets together. I have played a lot with Lego during COVID because I wasn't able to go out and play football, and so I love playing with Lego. And what this briquette actually allows you to do, it's an app. So if you have placed some Lego here, you can take your tablet, and then you can scan your Lego with this, and then it uses kind of like an artificial intelligence, and it will let me see.
It's able to say which separate things.
So
How is it possible?
It uses the pictures, and then it tries. You can actually see kind of how the recognition works here. Now it's just analyzing the picture, and then in a minute it would try to figure out. Okay, there is 3 of these. There is 2 of these. There's 1 of this. Okay. It assesses all of those, and then it has a database of like pretty much anything you can build in Lego. So now it recognizes, now it's up to 140, 150 bricks here. And then when it's done, it comes with several suggestions of what we can actually make with this Lego that we have here. So if you don't have like the manuals and you would like a challenge where you create a specific Lego piece, then it can help you. And now it finds like all of and you can say some of them 16 bricks, some are very simple, and it goes on.
That's so cute.
Oh, you can actually create the Tintin rocket here. It's quite cool. It allows you to do a lot of things with the Lego you already have.
That is nice. You can go to the next one.
Sure.
Curvex. It's a brain scanner.
Yeah, I don't know if we can quickly try it here, but it's basically it measures what you call EEG, waves, and that is some of their electric stimuli from your brain. So you have this on your head, and there are some sensors here. Okay. And let me see. Yeah, you have this on your ear tip as well. Okay. And that can then measure some of their electric stimuli or electric activity from your brain, and then via the app that is the Curvex app, you then can meditate, and you can meditate with gamification. So you kind of knowing, you have some feedback when you meditate. You're not only saying to yourself, relax, you can actually follow kind of how relaxed you are, and it can kind of create this more meaningful meditation and really get you to relax in another way, because it can kind of measure your brain activity while you're, for example, meditating.
And basically to use it for meditation only. I mean, this app at least.
Yeah, I think it's mainly worked with for meditation, as far as I know.
Okay. It's also very important to keep your mental health.
Yeah. I could also, of course, just for like general mindfulness, you could also, I think, use it.
Great.
Maybe we can take Rehab here. So I don't know if you should try. So if you stand over here, Rehab here has a camera here. It's an infrared camera, so it can kind of measure your depth and see you in infrared. And
so do this?
Yeah. So try and do something like this. Like you should follow this animation down here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and then you have to jump.
Oh, like literally?
Yeah.
Okay. And can I move?
Yeah, you should try and pick these stars. So
pick like this.
Yeah. And then now you have to jump.
Okay.
And run in place and jump.
Ah, this is fun.
Great, you're a natural talent.
Definitely. Oui.
And climb. Yeah, and now you have to surf.
Okay.
And lean.
Ah.
The other way, yeah, great.
And is this kind of to force people?
Yeah, so this they have different modules, and some that are made for people who has less functionality, and for people who have more functionality. I think this one is this is the hard one. You have to do a lot of squats, you have to jump, do a lot of rigorous exercise. But it's also made for people in rehabilitation that are not able to move as well.
Okay.
And if I was just standing here telling you to do all of these things, I think there's probably no way I could tell you to jump and you would begin jumping, and squatting and you would begin squatting. So it's like gamification of movements.
I don't understand. What am I supposed to do?
You are supposed to dodge now.
Okay, like
and
this?
then you have to hit it. So you're boxing against this, and then sometimes it hits you.
I don't know.
Right hook. Left hook. Yeah. Left hook.
And that was it for today. We hope you enjoyed this exhibition. See you next time.